What's up, everybody? This is Pain User.
This is Cat's Pajamas.
And we have our second game for you guys between vileHasHe and coLCrunCher. coLCrunCher spawning as our orange Protoss in the top left position, and vileHasHe spawning as our red Terran in the top right position. The map is going to be Tal'Darim Altar, and currently Hash is up 1-0. This is the IPL Season 2 Qualifier number 3, round of 128.
There.
Dunzos.
Yes. Got it.
So last game, very good game, actually. Very well played by both players. Cruncher actually completely foregoing Colossus Tech. Going with a 2-base 7-gate without the push. That's the interesting thing. It was 2-base 7-gate. Even a 6-gate is considered a very aggressive, not all-in strategy, but he used it defensively.
Yeah, Hash was just really, he was getting it that, like, he didn't overtly know the upgrade timings or anything like that, but Cruncher was only working on one forge at any given point in time, and Hash was just attacking it right before those upgrades, right before the next couple sets of warpins, right before Cruncher was going to begin the process of starting to do a little bit of pressure. So Hash, maybe a little bit inadvertently, because he wasn't throwing down too many scans or anything like that, actually timing his attacks just perfectly, forcing Cruncher to stay on those two bases for so long while Hash established that nice macro game. So very well played there out of Hash.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is, though, is that, Hash was working off 2 racks, and then he dropped his factory, and then he went up to 3 racks. You should not be able to hold an effectively utilized 7-gate, even a 6-gate, off of 3 racks. I mean, there should be absolutely no way. We do have a second 15 racks, or no, was that? I think that was actually a 14 racks coming out of Hash, possibly even a 13 racks. I think that might have been a 13 racks. So it looks like we are going to see some 2 racks pressure out of Hash here. He may choose to use this defensively. I highly doubt it, though. He is kind of feigning the gasless fast expand. Cruncher did get in there, did scout it out. Cruncher actually not content with what he's seen so far. Going to continue to check out the rest of the map. He is staying very active with his probe right now. I like that a lot. Does have that cybernetics core on the way. And what's going to be very important here is what Cruncher does next. Is he going to drop a Nexus? Is he going to drop more gateways? And it looks like he's gearing up to drop that Nexus. Minerals going up to 400, so definitely going to be dropping that Nexus, although trying to hide the probe, I believe, from this SCV, but the SCV is going to see this Nexus go up, and that is probably going to trigger Hash to maybe even drop a few more Raxes, or he might just continue with these 2 Raxes and do a very aggressive timing push here, probably going to pull some SCVs as well. Yeah,
absolutely. It looks like he's making his way up with the Marines here to the choke point, so he's going to sit back for a little while, but he does have a nice timing window right now where he could get into significant damage, but he does have 500 resources now, so it just seems like he's unsure of whether he wants to press an expansion or what he just wants to go ahead and straight up produce a bunch of racks. Looks like the expansion is actually going to come down, so this is going to be a little bit more defensive play here for the time being. That's going to allow Cruncher to really, really well establish a very nice economic footing, as well as his Nexus is considerably ahead of his opponent's position. Yeah, it looks like we have a few Marines that are starting to make their way across here, but of course these fast probes, fast stalkers will be able to get out of the way. Do we have any subsequent gateways coming down? Yes, there's gateways number 2 and 3 now, so Cruncher is going to have those, but he's only going to have realistically 3 stalkers ready to defend against this amount of Marines. Looks like Cruncher doing a nice job, though. Well, he took a little bit of permanent damage there, but it wasn't all that much. He's got 3 stalkers now, so he will be able to very quickly neutralize these Marine numbers with pretty good control. So he is actually pulling back right now. He hasn't lost a stalker quite yet. A few probes are being pulled as well. They're going to make their way down. That's going to go through those Marines very quickly. Nice hold there out of Cruncher. He is going to be able to clean that up completely.
Yeah, very well done by Cruncher. Microing his stalkers real well. One in the deep, deep red right now. Probably going to lose that one. Does lose that stalker. And the bunker goes up right as the last Marine gets picked off, and the bunker is going to take a ton of damage right here. No more SCVs in the area to repair. There are 2 more headed in right now. Hopefully Hash keeps this bunker alive. He may... Okay, yeah, the SCVs do not get picked off. He does move them back a little bit behind the bunker, so they are going to be able to safely repair that. But coLCrunCher doesn't really have a lot to worry about right now. He has a very light contain going on, and it's almost counterintuitive for Hash to be containing here because coLCrunCher could do a number of things. One thing coLCrunCher could do is if he put a pylon to the south of his Nexus over in that position over there, he could start warping in Zealots and just go straight for the mineral line of Hash. And that's one thing you always have to worry about when you are doing some type of contain with Terran. Obviously, all your forces are sitting at his natural, and I think Hash knows this. Looks like he is going to go ahead and coLCrunCher is putting up that pylon at the southern end of his natural, and the bunkers are going to get recycled here for his little 75% discount, and then he's going to pull back with those Marines and try and establish a defensive position at his natural choke. Keep in mind, Hash very, very, very late on the gas. Just now getting up to 50 gas, has one add-on coming on his Raxus, so he is so far behind in tech right now. He really needed to do some sort of economic damage for that 2 racks to pay off, and he did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he's going to be able to hold this amount of Stalkers. That's no problem, but subsequent follow-ups are going to do quite a bit of damage. As coLCrunCher right now, he's picking off Marine after Marine after Marine. Nice micro as well, pulling back those Hurt Stalkers, just continuing to pick off all of those Marines. Very nice job, even going ahead and taking out a little bit of damage on these bunkers. Got to watch out and make sure he doesn't lose any unnecessary Stalkers, though. Now he's starting to make his way back, and once again, though, pure gateway build thus far, even though coLCrunCher, okay, now he's finally going up to his 3rd and 4th gas, so he'll be able to transition in tech here soon, but for now, he is going to be able to amass a huge Stalker force. Right now, it looks like Hash has finally gone over to a few Marauders, so he is going to have a little bit better unit against this. Looks like now, though, coLCrunCher moves up once again. He does manage to take out one bunker, and he could potentially get in there and take out the second as well. That's really going to force Hash to kind of overcommit to units here. He's not really going to be able to successfully transition in tech if coLCrunCher keeps up this pressure as well as he has so far.
It's interesting that coLCrunCher is really favoring this this mass Stalker style, not getting as many sentries or Zealots as you would see from your everyday Protoss player. It is definitely something unique. He is getting so many Stalkers, but I feel like if Hash was to realize this and start producing heavy Marauders, which it looks like he is in the process of doing, he is transitioning into much more heavy Marauder style. He's also added 2 more tech labs on, or no, he does have 1 reactor and 1 tech lab. So he's going to continue producing Marines. However, he can produce Marauders now, and starting to climb that Marauder number. Combat Shield on the way, Stim on the way, and no quick third for Hash. coLCrunCher taking a very quick third here is going to be able to take a pretty aggressive lead in terms of the economic game, but once again, coLCrunCher is on that gateway tech for so long. We do have the factory coming for Hash. He is going to tech up to Medivacs, and I'm really curious to see whether coLCrunCher is going to completely forego the Colossus phase of the game once again.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a Robo down now. All it's doing for the moment is putting out an Observer. He has a second Forge coming up as well, in addition to a Twilight Council. So really heavily investing in tech at this point, but no Robo Bay in sight. So there's the Observer. Let's see if he follows this up with an Immortal, or if he is just going to be peachy dory dandy, so to speak, and okay with what he's done off that Robo. Looks like another Observer coming out. So coLCrunCher does have a pretty good supply advantage. He has a 12 worker advantage, and he's about to finish his 3rd base as well. So economically, he is going to look very, very good here very quickly. Hash, though, finally has +1 weapons coming up at the moment, but he is going to fall very quickly in upgrades to the 1-1, the double upgrades that are coming out of coLCrunCher. coLCrunCher knows that he can sit back, play a very, very macro-oriented game, and he is going to look just fine. Hash moves his way up to the top. May not have known what version of the map this was. Maybe checking for some destructible rocks there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that a lot of the leagues really need to work on. I mean, obviously the leagues, don't care too much for one another, don't really care what maps they use, but at the end of the day, there needs to be a solid map pool that all the tournaments use, instead of just having every tournament throw their brand name on the maps and edit the maps how they see fit. Based on that particular tournament. So yeah, Hash obviously not knowing what version it was, but I don't blame him. There's so many different ones, and it looks like he is going to go in here. Hash, seeing that army, immediately stims, and he is going to press onward, microing very well, stutter stepping backwards, killing most of these Zealots, but there are so many many stalkers out on the field from coLCrunCher, and this just goes to what I was talking about earlier, just that primary stalker composition, and they're actually doing a surprising amount of damage. Hash losing pretty much his entire army right there.
Yeah, Hash is at 0-1 upgrades. We do have an armor upgrade up for the for coLCrunCher's forces as well, so his zealots were able to stand in there, take some pretty good damage there. Looks like weapons level 1 is just coming up at the moment, but coLCrunCher has maintained a very, very large supply advantage. He's going to get Storm on these High Templar pretty quickly as well. Has Immortals in this composition, seeing mostly Marauders were out there, and it doesn't look like Hash is deterred off of using those Marauders. I like the choice of a DT Shrine right here. It's going to pin Hash in just that much further if he's able to get those in, do some damage. There's no detection coverage in the main whatsoever, so Warp Prism or some sort of drop would be able to inflict a ton of damage. Worker count, though, suggests that Hash is down by 19. Of course, he isn't on his third quite yet, floating that over now. But coLCrunCher going to his fourth at the same time, so maintaining that economic advantage, and it does reflect in how much or how well his or how good his economy looks at the moment. So
certainly.
Hash going ahead and transferring over a bunch of SEVs here. Looks like he does have a number of medevacs ready to support this force, and a Zealot gets in there,
what a
little bit
badass Marauder, just punking that Zealot off the Zelnaga Tower. And I don't know if I really agree with Hash taking that fourth before the third. I feel like that fourth is much more isolated, going to be much more difficult for him to defend. He is getting a PF and a turret there, and that will help him out quite a bit, but we do have a probe being ever so sneaky on the bottom side of the map. That is going to head over there and build a pylon, and then it looks like subsequently, to steal your word, it is going to head over to the fourth and possibly build a pylon, and that pylon will be used. If this Marauder catches that probe, that'll be huge for Hash, and that is huge for Hash. He is going to get that probe, but there is still a pylon on the southern end of the map, and he could choose to warp in quite a few units there and pressure that fourth. At the very least, head around the back with a few stalkers and harass the SCs, but it looks like Hash feels like he might have another little timing window here. I really feel like he should be waiting for these ghosts to come out, and we have 4 DTs coming, just crossing with Hash's army right here. Hash is going to know what's going on. I don't think he saw those other 3 DTs. They are splitting up at this point, looking for expansions. Don't want to all be killed by one scan, so Hash really on the defensive right now, heading back to his base. Probably going to kill a few of these DTs at the turret, or just one at the very least, and coLCrunCher looks like he's just going to pull those DTs back, trying to sneak another DT in on the right side, and it does get in. So, snipe
nice
going
snipe
off from Hash right there.
Beautiful.
Very timely. Not every day that you see snipe used in a situation where that's really all you can do.
No, that was very, very good heads-up play, though, out of Hash. He's able to stop that. He isn't forced to burn a scan. Most importantly, looks like a few more DTs are being sent out, and a Zealot as well. And here comes the DT. He is going to see that relatively undefended planetary fortress over there. The planetary fortress will exact its revenge, but not before the all-important base is revealed. So Hash now at 169 supply. We do have a Warp Prism coming up for coLCrunCher, so he is going to be able to drop the main, and now looks like Hash a little bit better prepared for this. He does have a couple of missile turrets up, so
isn't watching PFs kill single targets great?
Is watching Dark Templar rip through a base even better, though?
They could possibly just rip down this PF immediately. They could go for the turrets, then straight to the PF. Looks like he is going to tank the PF damage with this Zealot. I love this play from coLCrunCher. Hopefully he sends that Zealot in first. Yeah, the Zealot is going to take the damage from the PF. Oh, wow, Hash doing a great job immediately starting to mass repair and surround that turret. Very well done by him, but too little too late. I mean, DT's just doing so much damage right now, cleaving through that PF. Oh my God, they hit hard.
Yeah, they do.
Good
there goes
Lord.
the PF, and now, yes, Hash is down to 2 bases. He has a third coming down at the 6 o'clock position. He is actually going to attack into coLCrunCher's fourth. And
did he just stim his entire army?
I believe he did just stim his entire army. So, yep, unfortunately, here comes Hash, and at the same time, EMPs are driving down to coLCrunCher's army. coLCrunCher's army is reinforcing, but more importantly, it didn't catch any of the High Templar. This DT is just exacting its revenge. feedback and storms going down all over the place, and Hash's army is just disappearing. Cruncher now in a ridiculously good position, cleans up that army altogether, denies the base over here, running in with more DTs. These DTs, well, actually are able to take out a few Marauders in the process, almost go through the missile turret, not quite going to be there, but still just continued damage being done. Cruncher all over the map right now, playing so aggressively, so well, and he has got this game well in hand. He's going to be able to just make a big attack here pretty quickly and crush through the rest of Hash's forces.
Yeah, he will more than likely end the game right here. He has a DT just thrown in the mix for good measure, an Archon for good measure, one Immortal for good measure, just has a little bit of everything right here, and it looks like he is going to be able to just ransack the remainder of Hash's forces. Hash just now establishing his natural third, does have a PF there, might be able to hold on to that for a little while, but if we turn our attention to his natural, GG is being called. GG. Hash has lost the second game. It is tied up 1-1, and wow, that was a great game.
Yeah, it really was. And once again, I got to say, pretty convincing there out of Cruncher as well. I mean, Hash was able to make a game of it, come back, throughout the entire process. But let's think right back to the beginning when Cruncher got up those early Stalkers and was able to pick off so many Marines. It just really kept Hash on those two bases for so long because he was always afraid of that imminent counterattack. So I love the way Cruncher approached that game. I really liked his army composition as well. Without the Colossi, he was still able to do so much damage with just a DT and very, very well upgraded Gateway Force, so kind of a thing of beauty to watch.
I feel like the that last battle though was closer than people might have thought. If Hash had been able to get a few timely EMPs off on those Templar, he kind of jumped the gun on the EMPing and he just started popping off EMP rounds as soon as the Gateway units were in sight. Used about 3 of them, a couple on the Zealots, a couple on the Stalkers, but really there weren't that many sentries, and I don't know that Hash knew that those High Templar were following up from behind. And it was almost like, Cruncher delayed them so much. The battle was already going on, and then those DTs came in. Obviously, I think an EMP might have gone off on 2 of them, but it just wasn't enough, and those storms were able to decimate him. So Cruncher able to tie this up at 1-1. I hope you guys enjoyed that game as much as we did, and we will be coming right back at you with Game 3, so stay tuned.
Stay there.